Hi guys, I just welcomed you all in my new YouTube video. So today's video is gonna about watercolors. This is such a high recommended video for you all. So don't without wasting any time, let's get started. I'll tell you in brief everything. So, hope you all liked. This is watercolor cakes. This is very essential to use for beginners. This is for beginners. Beginners can use this, and this is having very cheap rates. This is known as watercolor cakes, and the price of this is 110. Very cheap and best. Camel. These are watercolor cakes. You can go for this also. This is also watercolor cakes. This is very nicely to use in this palettes. You can use in tubes also. Here are some tubes of mine. These are only watercolors tubes. You can use it in watercolors. Water tubes are very nice to use, and water tubes हम लोग वो ये लाइक इसलिए करता है, हम लोग नेचुरली बेसिक कैसे देख सकते हैं, हमें कितनी क्वांटिटी में कलर चाहिए, उससे हमारा कलर वेस्ट नहीं होता है. आई जस्ट रिकमेंड यू टू यूज ट्यूब्स एंड केक्स. डोंट गो फॉर द बॉटल्स वंस like this. Don't go for this one. Go for cakes like this and tubes only. So here are the watercolor tubes. This is such a medium size. आप लोग small छोटा बड़ा इससे ले सकते हो according to your price, according to your needs. Now go for the brushes. Here are some of my watercolor brushes. Here are some of my watercolor brushes. These all are my watercolor brushes. These are my favorites one. These bristles are very smooth and very nicely I use this, and these all brushes are my favorite. I can suggest you to use this one. This one is from local brand nearby my stationaries. These are also good, but I suggest you to use this Faber-Castell. You can go for that also. Every color you like. These are my favorite. You can also go for these ones, and you can also go for Camlin brushes. That one also good. You can use that. And this is my cheapest. Oops, today only, it doesn't matter. So now let's talk about the paper, watercolor paper. There is a watercolor paper called as 300 GSM. This is 300 GSM watercolor paper. This paper is specially made for watercolors, so you can go for this only. This is watercolor paper, A4 size, or A5 is also available, and this is Canson watercolor paper 300 GSM, and I suggest you to go for Canson company Canson, and you can go for, if you are beginners, you can go for this also. This is from Anupam. Anupam paper is also good. These sheets both are 300 GSM. You can buy it from the Amazon also. Now you can also use sketch pads, sketchbooks like this. This is 130 GSM. We can use 130 GSM as a watercolor paper, but 130 GSM is not a watercolor paper, so go for 300 GSM only. Because 300 GSM is a watercolor paper. So yeah. You can also use sketchbook like this. Like this one. This is also good. This is A3. A3 normal sketchbook. Now talk about some containers. I use these type of containers. Now we are talking about containers. So I use this containers for watercolors. And I also use my cup of tea, my normal cup of tea. I can also use this as my container. I use this palette. This is for beginners. You can use this palette. I normally use, when I use just 5-6 colors, I use this when if you cannot buy palette, you can also go for the plastic plates also. This is also very good use and throw. And I also use this type of lunch box of mine. Watercolors are very easy to remove, so yeah. You can buy a bigger one also, palette. I use a bigger one, but this is for beginners. You can go to. You can also use any home plate. Now you must have one cloth like this. I have a cloth like this. You can always have a cloth like this to stitch it off your brushes on that tab to remove extra water and all stuffs. You can also use, this is the cloth I used, and this is very nice. I just use it, cut it into pieces like this and use it and throw it. I just use like 2-3 times. You can also use tissue papers instead of this, and must use one cotton cloth also for the better and safer side. This is a masking tape we all covered in our sheets to remove extrusions, and this is a masking tape available nearby stationeries and on paint shops. So yeah, this is all the stuffs I use. You can also use watercolor pencils. This is a wooden watercolor pencils you can go for. I use this, and I also use this brush pens for watercolors. So this is all in this video. I hope you all liked, and in next video I'll tell you about some tips of watercolor. So stay tuned. I hope you all like this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share as much as you can. Thank you guys. I hope you liked, and bye everyone.